there, it's Carol with Carol B Crafts. Today we'll be doing card number 5 in my Carols of Christmas online class, which is available through December 3rd. And you can check out the details on my blog, www.carolbcrafts.com. This is the card we're making today, and these are the 6 cards that are in the class. If you're interested in getting the class materials, check out that blog and see how you can get them free with the qualifying purchase from StampiNup.com, and it's my customer reward to you. Now this card has a little bit different look for a Christmas card. It has the black and white paper that Stampin' Up! Has put out this year. This is the Merry Little Christmas paper, and it is, I think it's very elegant. This stamp here, may happiness of family, the joys of friendship, and the warmth of love surround you this season. That comes from the Holly Berry Happiness stamps, which also coordinates with the Holly Berry border builder punch, and that you can get those from Stampin' Up, or you could use a different sentiment inside if you want. The Deck the Halls sentiment comes from the Carols of Christmas stamps, which is the stamp set that we've been using on all of our cards. Now, the Carols of Christmas stamps comes with the card front builders thinlits, and that's where this tree comes from. It has some cute little die cuts. This is one of the trees, and then it has the single tree there as well. Now this comes as a bundle. I'll put the number on the screen so that you can order this if you don't already have it. Now if you didn't get the class materials, don't worry, I will give you instructions and dimensions as we go along so that you can make this card too. Now the kit you'll need will be the one that has the black and white pine trees on it. We'll set our envelope aside for later. Let's go ahead and fold our thick Whisper White cardstock with the valley facing us, and we fold it away. Go ahead and crease that with our bone folder. Okay, we'll set that aside. Now I've put everything small in this little bag for use. So there's some tiny little cherry cobbler 1/8 inch punch from the 1/8, whoops, that's not the 1/8, from the 1/8 inch Circle Punch from Stampin' Up. So that's where you get those from. Now at the end of the video I will show you how I did the holly leaves, and I'll show you how I did the windows, so that if you want to make more, or if you haven't got the kit yet and you'd like to go ahead and try one of my cards, you can do that with the materials that you have at home. Now I've given you some extra little berries, or I'm not even sure what those are supposed to be. I guess they could be like the ornaments for the tree. So this tree is the single die that comes with the dies, card front builder thinlits. So that's where that tree came from. And these little holly leaves came from Holly Berry Builder Punch. So before we get started on all of these little things here, I'm going to push all of this aside and we're going to do our stamping. We've got 2 pieces of the 1/8 inch silver ribbon. We've got a piece that's 10 inches and a piece that is 6 inches. So we'll use those a little later on. Right now we have our 3 3/8 inch squares of Whisper White, and we're going to stamp on that with the Deck the Halls stamp that comes with the Carols of Christmas stamps, and we're going to use cherry cobbler. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we also have a piece of the shimmery black ribbon, and it is also 6 inches, so we'll use that in a little bit too. Alright, so this is on a E block. It was too big for a D block. I couldn't fit it on there any way I tried. So you'll need a larger block for the Deck the Halls, and you will definitely need a Stamp-O-Majig, because it's the stamp has a a lot of surface and a lot of detail. So we'll get our cherry cobbler ink out and ink up our stamp. And we're going to go ahead and stamp this in the middle. And I realize that what I need to do, because this isn't a very big piece of paper, I need to put a little bit of snail on the back to hold it in place, just a tiny bit, so that I can, whoops, well, maybe a little bit more because it doesn't want to stay put. Alright, so that'll keep it in place so I can use my Stamp-A-Majig. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this in the center, and I'll put my Stamp-A-Majig in place so that I can use it if I need it, which I know I will. Alright, so I'll let that ink soak in a little bit. And that looks pretty good, but I want to do it one more time just to get a nice full image. I won't put as much ink on it this time, but I will make sure that I get ink on all of my stamp, especially in the center there. Okay, so I'm going to hold this in place, put this in the corner, and go straight down. And we have our stamp. Now that's a little dark for now, but it's going to lighten up. So we'll set that aside to dry while we build our card, and I'll clean my stamp off so I can put my Stamp-A-Majig away. Now this is from the Merry Music specialty DSP that we have for this season. And this is, I'm not even sure if that's snowflakes, or it looks kind of like a pinwheel snowflake is what it is, but that's the back of it. And then we have a piece of cherry cobbler, and it's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 cherry cobbler. That's going to go on top of that. Let's get our card base out. And then on top of that is going to be our Deck the Halls, and then this here. That's how it's going to go. And then we'll have our ribbons. So let's go ahead and let's start by putting this on our, and like I said, at the end of the video I'll tell you the dimensions, and I'll have a little tutorial on how to do this window. So let's go ahead and put our glue 1/4 inch from the center, little dots 1/4 inch from the center square. I'm going to try not to get too close to the edge, and I might put a little bit here on the edges there. Now this may look the same, but this side, the left side, is not as wide as the right side. And so you want to be sure that when you put this on, the 1 inch side, I believe that's 1 inch, not quite 1 inch. The shorter, not as wide side is on the left, and the thicker, wider side is on the right. And we're going to put this on and move it around a little bit till we get that 1/8 inch, and then we can push it down. And then we're going to put this on top of our Deck the Halls. So we'll turn that over and put our dots around, again 1/4 inch from the center of the square. Normally I am a little bit more careful, but since I'm on video and I don't want to take up all your time, I kind of hurry. So we're just going to center this to where it looks nice. It looks kind of even here and here and here and here. And it looks level. Okay, and then this is going to go on our cherry cobbler. And we're going to use snail for that. there's a 1/8 inch all the way around the edges. 1/8 inch, I mean not 1/8, 1/16 of an inch all the way around. Okay. Now we're ready to put on our ribbon. So the first ribbon that we're going to put on is going to be our shimmery black ribbon. And we want it to be, I think it's a 1/2 inch from the edge. Yes, we want this a 1/2 inch from our left edge. So we're going to go ahead and take our pencil and mark that. Oops, that's a pen. I'm not sure where my pencil went. Well, a pen will have to do. Okay, so we're going to mark a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. And that's going to tell us where we want our, we want the edge of our ribbon even with that. But this is the back, so we'll go ahead and put some of our snail there above the ribbon, about 1 inch square. Above that on this side of the mark. So that's where our ribbon's going to go. We'll flip it around. Put that one there. And this one here. So we have that ribbon. Now we want to take our 6-inch piece of the silver, the 1/8 inch silver, and we want to put it over the top of the black. So we're going to put some snail over the ribbon. And then we'll take this ribbon and put it in the center, like this. So there we have that now. And then we'll go ahead and put it on our card. So it probably is best, before we put the bow on, we're going to go ahead and put this on our card base. And this is my waxy strip, and it is from the what's left over from the mini glue dots. So if you're wondering where I get my waxy strip, that's where I get my waxy strip from. And it looks like that's going to be 1/8 of an inch around, all around the edges. And it looks like my ribbon came undone. Okay, that's a little bit off. It's right there. Okay, that looks good. So now we're going to put this on our, oh, and I forgot to tell you the dimensions of this paper. This DSP is 4 by 5 1/4. And the cherry cobbler, did I tell you it was 5 1/8 by 3 7/8? I think I did tell you that. Okay, so we're going to put some snail over the back of our cherry cobbler. And we're going to put this on our, and then again we just want a 1/16 of an inch all around. So once we get that on, and we're happy with that, we're going to put on our tree. And this is our little tree here. It's going to go here in the right corner, right bottom corner. We'll use glue dots for that. Probably about 3. And again, pull away. Don't pull up, pull away. And if anything sticks out, just tuck it under with your hand, your finger. Okay, so that's going to go right about there. And it looks like a little, maybe a little leaning, but I guess that's okay. And then all of these tiny little, I only put 8 on, but I gave you extra. Now how we're going to do this is we're going to take our glue again, and we're going to put dots, 8 dots on there. Tiny, tiny little dots. And they're just going to be kind of random. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I like to use this to pick them up, but it won't work unless it's sticky. So I get a glue dot on it. I just rolled that glue dot, and then I stuck it to this, which it likes to stick to my finger too. And if some of the glue sticks out, that's okay because it's going to dry clear. Okay, so we have that. Now we want, get my little glue ball, as we call it. I would call it a glue ball now. Here's our star that goes at the top of the tree. I'll put my glue ball down for a minute. Take your pierce tool and go underneath the star. Looks like I might have to bend it back a little bit to get it under there. Okay, I'll put that at the top of the tree. It's our little star. And that star comes from the Metal Shapes. I think I'll put the name on the screen. Alright, so now we're going to do our corner. We have our holly leaves, and I'm just going to bend those in the center a little bit. Get some glue dots. Find the end that looks fatter. That's the end you want to put your glue dot on, if it will let you. So find the end that's a little fatter and get your glue dot on there. And then put it one that direction. And one in this direction, kind of meeting at the tip there. And then this little piece here is punched out, cherry cobbler, punched out from the Holly Berry Builder Punch, and it's this one right here. We're going to put that on with a glue dot. I'm going to put that over our holly, like this. So now we have some extra little balls. We'll just push those aside. The last thing we have to do, well, you'll need to stamp the inside with whatever sentiment that you want, and you can use the cherry cobbler. That's what I used in this one. Well, actually no, I used the black. I used the archival black. I thought that looked kind of nice. But you could use cherry cobbler too if you want. So now for the bow, we'll take our 10-inch piece of the 1/8 inch silver ribbon, and we're going to slide it underneath like this. We'll do it from this side. Slide it underneath. And we're going to do our loop in this hand and our loop in this hand, like we do. And then we're going to do the X, and then push it through the hole, and then pull it tight. And then we're just going to fix it so that it's the right width that we want. So we don't want it that wide. So we're just going to pull it till it's the width that we want. And that looks about right. Let's see. And then I'm going to fluff up my ribbon a little. And then I'm going to cut my tails. Now normally I would fuss with this ribbon a little bit to make it a little more pretty. I think the loops are still a little big. Okay, so there's our ribbon, and it doesn't seem to want to behave itself. I'm not sure why. There, that's better. Okay, we are done with card number 5 in our online class, Carols of Christmas. And then stay tuned while I show you how to do the windows for these cards, because it's a little different than the other cards that we've done. So, but if you're not going to stick around, then bye now, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so I have my Big Shot, and then I'm using the magnetic plate, and then just a regular acrylic plate, and then one to go on top. Now, the top of the top DSP is from the Merry Little Christmas, and it is 5 by 3 3/4. So 5 by 3 3/4, and then the black, basic black, is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. So 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. So we're going to cut this piece first, and we're going to use the 2 largest layering squares from the layering square framelit. We'll use the largest on the flower on the trees, and the second largest on the black. Now, to help me put placement on, to get my square exactly from the same distance from the edge for every card, I made this little guide, and it is 3 3/4 by 7/8. 3 3/4 by 7/8. So what I did is I put this on the edge, the left edge, and I put it down and held it in place. And then I put my largest layering square against that, and I let it go down. Now you could use washi tape if you wanted to hold this in place. So you want even distances here and here, and you want it up against the your guide piece there. So that looks about right there. So I'm just going to leave that in place since I have the magnetic plate underneath. Well, I'm going to straighten it up just a little bit. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to just lay the top down flat on it and run it through the Big Shot. Okay, so once I get that done, I have this here. So now I'm going to get the black and put it underneath so that I have even distances all around, and then I'm going to flip it over, get the second largest layering square and set it inside here, just like that. Remove the top paper. Be careful not to move your die. And then we're just going to run this through like this. And so now, when we put them together, we have our 1/8 inch all around. So that's how we did this for this card and the next one that's also black and white. I also wanted to show you how I did the holly leaves. So this is a 1/2 inch of garden green, and I put it in my scoring board, and I scored it at 1/4 of an inch all the way down. And I made a little vein there. And then I took my punch, my Holly Berry Builder punch, and I put that vein in the center of my Holly Berry leaf. and then I punched it, and then I just kept pushing this through and punching until I'd punched all of them. And then if you want to, on the like the little valley side, you can just bend it forward like that, and that gives it more of a holly berry look. Okay, well, that's all that you need to know to make this card. I hope you will make the card, and I hope you will take one of my classes as well. So thanks for watching. Bye now.